point something out or compliment it is to do the exact thing that they're doing. And I was never going to do that at 45 years old, come in and try to be, a writer, a tagger. It just wasn't in the cards. The show is called Off and On the Wall. Archaeology. This came off the wall. I rolled it up like a giant burrito with Curtis, put it in my car, dragged it into my studio. It was huge. It was like 10 by 30 feet, this one big piece. But the fact that I've kind of created I hesitate to use the word fine art, but like a fine art approach, a gallery approach, and go into return from where it came, it'll never show quite like it'll show at the Avenue concept. Most street artists are anonymous. It's very different than museum culture. It's very different than gallery culture. I mean, like the purest graffiti people I know, they have no interest in the gallery. In fact, the gallery, and it's kind of selling out. It's amazing to me some of the pieces that are done that are very elaborate. They're done in an afternoon. I mean, I've been working on this stuff for it's a year now. So I guess in that way too, it's very different than graffiti. I love juxtapositions like that, where you have maybe contradictions or you point out differences. When I first took the paint off though, I think they thought I was literally gonna take the graffiti off the wall and then just basically straight up appropriate it and put it back up, which I understand, like their concern. That wouldn't have been a cool thing to do at all. So there was a little bit of controversy. I happen to love controversy, and I like to be a contrarian, which is kind of what graffiti is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be this like anti-authoritative thing. It's very much in my style to go into the group of anti-authoritatives and try to like be, one-up them in some way, I guess. I'm really interested in what artists throw away. In this case, the artist didn't choose to throw them away. When they spray paint, they almost immediately know that it's ephemeral and will be gone fairly quickly. So I really think that materials have meaning, and not just basic meaning, like political meaning. So like the materials that you use are important. And I guess what I'm doing in all this, partly is we have all this information and this whole world, and it's like I'm taking it all through a blender of my techniques and my world, and I'm claiming it as my own by many times, destroying has negative connotations, but. So I'm liking what I'm seeing, which is gold, the brightest colors. So now I've gone all the way to here. My mind says, all right, this is a chance, but let's connect this plane to this plane and go in for this scraper. Brian Eno, takes a lot of claim for it in his work. His chance, so set things in motion, observe, and see what happens. And you do that over and over, and sometimes it's not really based on rational thought. It's just doing it and letting the creative process flow. The idea of like the lone, painter, genius who's gonna come up with some original idea, I think we're so far from that in terms of the art world and what's possible in the digital age, that I never consider. I mean, someone may look at this and be like, oh, this is fairly original. Yeah, maybe, but the idea of doing this thing that no one else has done, that doesn't really excite me at all. I like the guts of an artist not asking for permission, and just, putting the art where they want it. So this is the opposite of that, which a lot of what I've done with this so far is the opposite of what graffiti culture embraces. And that's not to make fun of it, it's really an homage to it.